I 100% believe that if you do not run your time will run you. So a really good quality planner is an absolute no-brainer for me. Well, hello there, and welcome to the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. My name is Sam Hind, and in this Power Podcast episode, I want to give you 5 business tools that I use to keep myself on top of things and to make sure that I'm achieving my goals and be as successful as I possibly can be. Now, these are tools that vary across technology through to everyday tools, but these are 5 things I can't go without. And I'm often asked how I manage certain areas here that I'm about to tell you. So I often get asked, what do you use to keep yourself organized when you've got a family? What do you use to make sure that you've got everything you need to do great video wherever you are? What do you use to make sure that you're constantly evolving and growing yourself? So I got to thinking about this and I realized there are a number of things that I carry with me everywhere that I use no matter what. And I have used now for a number of years, and I may slightly evolve these. But these for me are my game-changing business tools that as a mumpreneur, a femalepreneur, a wifepreneur, an entrepreneur, I could not go without. So I want to share with you what those 5 things are right now. Okay, so let's dive on in. I'm going to share with you my 5 business tools that I use for success that I couldn't go without. The very first one of those is a really good quality planner. Now, there are so many of them out there, and I'm actually going to be really honest and say that while I have been a big fan for years of the Daily Greatness Planner, and I'm going to talk to you about why I love this so much, I have actually taken a huge leap of faith this year, and I'm trying out a brand new planner. So I'm hoping I'll be able to give you guys a little bit of an update on how that goes, but I thought it might have been time for a little bit of a change. But here's the clincher. This is why I need to have a physical planner with me at all times, because I do use my phone and calendar planner for my appointments. So yes, I use a digital planner, but I love putting pen to paper. There's something very nostalgic about it, but it's also a way for me, literally, when I am talking to someone on the podcast or on the phone, I can quickly scribble things. If I can't get into my phone or, I don't want to be looking down, like I can be writing stuff in my planner as I go. I'm also able to bring this to my meetings with me as well. And it lets me, I can kind of see everything in one opening, in one page, which I think is really important. The calendar is great and I definitely translate it across to there, but I love a good quality physical planner. The other thing that I like is a good quality to-do list. And I talk about this one a lot inside of this podcast. And that is, I learned from Amy Porterfield, who is someone I admire and love. I have met her in the US a couple of times, and I just love the tip that she gave probably, I'm going to say maybe 10 years ago now, which was about bucket lists. Rather than having a to-do list that's never ending, that grows faster than you can complete it, she actually talked about bucket to-do lists. And the thing I love about Daily Greatness is it actually contains, and I'll just show you, if you're watching the video version of this, you're able to see on my screen, bucket to-do list. And I love this because it has your urgent items, your important items, your waiting and pending, delegate, decisions, and next week. Now, I changed some of those a little bit to suit me, but I actually love this because it means that when I'm writing things down, I'm prioritizing according to where it needs to go. And it doesn't mean that I'm forgetting things, but I feel like I'm not leaving all the balls hanging up in the air. I'm kind of getting them down on paper so I don't have to worry about forgetting about something, but I can let it out of my head until next week, and then I can translate it over to next week if it's not urgent. The other very interesting thing I find about using a planner this way is that I can close my planner after my Monday meeting. And I'm not suggesting you do this, but I've noticed that if I get through to next Monday and I haven't opened it again, everything in that urgent column has been done, even though I didn't look at it again. And part of the reason for that, I think, is because it's almost like programming my brain and saying, right, now that we're sorting our week out, now that we're planning everything ahead, these are the things that absolutely have to happen, no questions asked this week. And it allows me to almost put to the side the things that I can delegate or dump or deal with later. So I'm a big fan of having a good quality planner. I think it's a very personal thing, which planner you use. And so I'm not necessarily going to say that you need the same one I have. Again, I've changed this year. So, and you never know, I may end up going back to something else. And I will put the link, by the way, to the Daily Greatness Planner in here. So if you want to check it out, you can. And I think the link might even give you a special little discount as well. But again, I think it's just about having something physical that allows you to see and pre-organize your week. And I 100% believe that if you do not run your time will run you. So a really good quality planner is an absolute no-brainer for me. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk to you about is a technology tool. And this is one that again, if you've been around me for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about these nonstop. And there are lots of different versions of these. I'm actually have two different ones I'm going to talk about here. I've just pulled out the second one. I always carry one of these on me. I have got them in the boot of my car. I have got them in my laptop bag, in my handbag. If you've got a good quality one here, you can carry it around with you anywhere and you won't even know you've got it. I keep one in the pram. And believe it or not, Greg has always got one in his office. Greg has always got one in his car. I've got one on my desk at home. I've got one in my kitchen. These are everywhere. So here's the little magic device that's going to help make your video better, help you with all of your content, and that is a really good quality tripod with a Bluetooth shutter. Now, you can get cheap and nasty ones, but I've used many, many, many over the years, and I always come back to ones like these two. So this one here is the Benro. This is the BK15. You can get these on Amazon. We used to sell them, but we sold so many of them we couldn't keep up, and we're like, we're not making money off this because we were literally selling them for what we bought them for. But just to help our members out. But you can get onto Amazon and you can get one of these. And the thing I love about them, if I just open that up there, you can see it's got a little Bluetooth shutter with it, which detaches and clips back on to the tripod. So the beauty of that is this one here extends up to, it's like about 1 meter tall, and it's got the little tripod feet. So you can have that, and it shrinks down to literally, you can see the size of that box. It shrinks down to a little tiny stick that will just go in your handbag. The other thing is you can attach almost any camera to the top of it as well. It's got a little screw top here, but it's got, you can screw on a little part that comes with it that means it will fit any mobile device as well. So I love these. These are really good, solid tripods. They sell for somewhere between, I'm going to say $50 and $70, and you won't regret it because these are they are really good quality. They don't break. I have literally got the same ones that I've had for years. The one thing that is a little annoying is the Bluetooth shutter. They do need to be recharged. So you got to remember to do that. That's one thing. They do last a good while though if you turn them off. So there's those. The other one I really like is one I've only just recently purchased, and it's called the Tentacle. I'll put a link to this one as well in the show notes. I love this because what it's actually got is completely bendy feet. Now, the downside is it doesn't extend like the Benro does, but it's got completely bendy feet that stick to anything or wrap around anything. So you can see it's got these little suction bits on the tentacles, if you like, and it sticks perfectly to windows, smooth surfaces, and, I'll wrap them around, the banister of our stairs and things like that, and take photos from above and all sorts of things. Again, depending on what purchase you do with this one, it does have an option for Bluetooth shutter as well. And I did take that option up and it was really good. So I highly recommend having a good Bluetooth shutter. Why are these two things important? Well, first of all, you want to be able to take video without the shake in it. And so that will help reduce the level of shake if you're carrying your camera around. But if you don't need to carry your camera, if you're doing a selfie video or you're taking some photographs, you can put it somewhere and position it really, really well. And the position of your camera is actually really important when it comes to good quality video. So you want to have your camera so that it is just below eye level. You don't want to have it up really, really high or really low and be looking down on people. And of course, that's a rather unflattering angle. So if you have good tools, you can really position your camera well. The other thing with the Bluetooth shutter is you can take a lot of really great photographs of yourself or what you get up to, or you with your product or whatever it is from afar, and it doesn't look like a selfie. I've taken some brilliant photographs over the years of my family and I, even me presenting at conferences. I will take my own photographs by positioning my camera in advance somewhere in the crowd and, just having the Bluetooth shutter in my hand. It's that easy. So these are really good tools. I carry them with me, like I said, everywhere, and we use them all the time. They are not a gimmick. These ones are really good. So they are my number 2 thing that I couldn't go without. Okay, my number 3 thing is actually something that is really important for me personally as well as me in business. And something that I realized about 5 years ago, and I was so embarrassed to admit it. I love to read. I typically go to bed at night and I read. It helps me get to sleep and wind down from my day. But my default was often to read like a novel, a fiction novel, or something that just took me away to another place, and I could immerse myself in a story and I could just kind of forget about the world around me for half an hour or an hour, or whatever it was that I was reading for. And I would do the same thing on a weekend or holidays, and I would just disappear into a book. Now, I'm not saying this is not a good idea, and I still love doing that. But what I realized was I hadn't ever completed a personal development or business development or growth book of any sort from cover to cover ever. I had started many, but then I had opted for the easy option of, disappearing into a world. And so I made it my personal mission to start reading books that would grow me, develop me, teach me. I want to always be teachable, and I want to always be learning, because I understand, as I'm sure you do, that you cannot grow your business unless you grow yourself. And so as part of that journey, and this was actually something I admitted to my coach at the time, and he was like, I cannot believe this, Sam. We've got to fix it, because, readers are leaders, and it's so true. So I was like, well, I would expect other people to read and grow, and so I'm going to do the same. Now, that's not to say I wasn't learning in other ways. I was doing a lot of courses. I was going to a lot of events. I was listening to podcasts. I listened to Audible, but I wasn't physically picking a book up and reading it. And so I decided that the easiest way to do this is make sure I'm always carrying a learning book with me, or have it somewhere nearby within arm's reach. And I dedicate a little bit of time every day. Just 10 minutes is all I need to just read a little. It doesn't mean that I don't get to do my reading in bed at night if I want to, or when I go on holiday, but I always want to be learning at the same time. And so I always make sure that I have got a current book with me that is something that is growing me. And so the one that I've picked up to read at the moment is How to Listen by the amazing Oscar Trimboli, who was also a guest on this podcast. So make sure that you've got something on you at all times. So if you find 5 minutes in your day, you go to have a cup of coffee, or an appointment doesn't rock up and you've got a few extra minutes, or you pick the kids up from school and you got a few minutes in the car because you arrived early. My goodness, does that ever happen? You've got something there. You could quickly pick a book up and read for a few moments, and you're using that time wisely instead of scrolling on social media and wasting that precious time. Okay, so that is number 3. Number 4 is actually a really cool tool that I have learned to love, because I'm going from meeting to meeting to meeting. I might be listening to a podcast and I'm constantly taking notes. And what I found was happening was I was filling notebooks and I was grabbing new notebooks all the time, because I'd need one in my car, and then I wouldn't have one with me when I was in the office, and I'd grab a new one in the office. And suddenly I had 4 or 5 notebooks on the go at any given time with all my current notes. And we all know what happens when you do that. You then go to find an important note, and now you don't have it with you, and you don't know where it is. It drove me insane. And I thought, from an organizational point of view, there's got to be a better way. And there is. So this is something that I use all the time. I love it. It's so super easy to use, and it's actually an app. Now, I keep this app on my iPad, I keep it on my phone, and of course, it's on my computer. And this is what I love about it, is that it talks to everything, and it is a note-taking app. Like I said before, I like to put pen to paper. So me personally, this is how I do this. I got myself an iPad, and I'm embarrassed to say I've only had an iPad for about the last 18 months. I have gone this long without ever owning an iPad. Actually, that's not true. My kids owned an iPad for years before I did. But I decided about a year and a half ago to invest in an iPad for the purpose of simplifying this process. So I use an app called GoodNotes. Now, I know there's lots of different apps out there. I tried a couple, but I love GoodNotes because it talks to all my devices, and I can send the notes, I can label them, I can find them anywhere. So now if I happen to go in, and I can write with a pen or I can type on the keyboard as well. So I actually like to use I use a little Apple Pencil, and I write like I'm writing in a notebook. So it's exactly the same as writing in a notebook, but it translates to all my devices. So if Greg says to me, what happened in that meeting that you did today? And I'm now away from my desk, or I've moved to a different office because I happen to have a couple of office spaces, I've got that note on my mobile phone, or it's on my laptop, so I can see it wherever I am. And if one device goes flat, that's okay. It's on the other devices as well. So that is another tool that I could not go without, that I love, and it really helps me be better in business. Okay, here's the very last one, and this is another piece of technology, and I really had to narrow this down to 5. I feel like that was a hard task, but this is one that I know if I don't talk about it, Greg's going to get a little bit cranky with me, because this is probably, like, through him, I've realized how important this is. Now, we have different methods of doing this, but I want to talk to you about, particularly if you're creating social media content, the importance of sound. Now, he's got a little secret about Greg. Okay. When he was in high school, he used to be the guy that did the sound and the music at the roller skating rink, right? So he loves good music, but he needs it to sound good. And he's one of those people that he can pick up when the audio is off. So whenever I go to speak at a conference and they do the sound checks, I'll be like, yeah, cool, that's no worries, that's fine. And Greg will be in the back of the room going, oh my gosh, nope, it's terrible, we have to fix it. Because he understands that when the sound is off, people tune out really quickly. And it's like that with video. If someone hears a video, you can have amazing visual, you can have incredible content, but the sound is out and you'll lose people really, really quickly. So, and I will say as well, it can be incredibly distracting. So one of the things that I make sure I always carry on me, even when I think it's going to be okay, is something to help me with sound. Now, I've just got this it's actually a little makeup pouch, would you believe? And this is where I keep some little portable microphones. Greg likes to use, he's got a little, I think it's a Jobe Bluetooth microphone that he keeps on him. That one is much more expensive. I think it was around $200. These little babies, $30 off Amazon. Really easy to use, Bluetooth, and they improve the sound significantly. I did a little test live inside of one of our Facebook groups when I unboxed this one. And again, there are so many different brands. I don't even know what this brand is. It's not about the brand. It's about just getting something that's going to improve your sound. Now, you can use your AirPods, but I have also tested this and I've discovered that even using your wired earbuds are better quality than AirPods, and you get a bit of wind and it can really rattle the audio. So having some microphones that will help with that are really good. These can be used as little lapels. So they're a little microphone that can literally just clip to your top if you want to, or you'll often see people just holding them like a little mini microphone. I think that's a little bit weird, but I can see why you would do it. It's better than not having it at all. So mini microphone, and then they've got a little plug that just plugs into the bottom of your phone and it talks to the microphone, and that will significantly improve your sound. And so we carry them with us everywhere we go because there are often times where we go, oh, there's a good opportunity for us to do a live or for us to record a quick video or record something that's going on. And so I highly recommend having something that you can carry with you really easily that's going to help you with audio. And a lot of these little microphones, this one that I've got included, also will drown out background noise. So this one here, the video promoting them, the advert that I saw was actually with a mum who had her kids bouncing on the trampoline in the background behind her. And she said, can you hear that noise? And you could hear the kids laughing and shrieking and having a great time. She goes, let me test this microphone. And she plugged it in, and instantly you could hear her audio improve dramatically, but you couldn't hear, you could still see the kids going in the background, but you couldn't hear a thing. So just really simple little things that make all the difference to the quality of your video content. So if you're a content creator, you want to make sure you got some good tools. And as you can see from my little 5 tools here, they do not have to be pricey and expensive. So that's it from me. Really quick and easy power podcast episode. Hope that you find this one helpful. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you love this episode, please spread the love and share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. If you love listening and you found that this was helpful for your direct selling business, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check out the recommended video that's popped up on your screen right here. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.